to become a core therapeutic modalities with more than 80 monoclonal antibodies now approved for wide range of diseases. Monoclonal antibodies continue to dominate the pharmaceutical market, and we have expected to rise to more than $300 billion in 2025. However, the monoclonal antibodies have the challenges. As we know, the traditionally biomarkers in the healthcare have been used by the clinician to predict and detect the disease and to determine the best course of the action for the patient care. In the pharmaceutical industry, biomarkers have become integrated tool used throughout the R&D process and to persuade drug candidates. Unfortunately, every year we have seen the biomarkers for the prostate cancer are discovered, but there is a gap between the discovery and the diagnostic test. Only the few biomarkers progress to the clinical validation and the diagnostic test. So why is this major gap in the discovery and the only few biomarkers used for the diagnostic test? So one of the major reasons there is the unavailability of the antibodies to characterize these biomarkers for their potential use as a therapeutic biomarkers. Next, what is aptamers and its uniqueness? Aptamer technology was developed in 1990 simultaneously by the two groups, TURC and the Gold, and the Ellington and Sostek. The aptamers was a nucleic acid or peptides that can fold into a 3D conformation and bind to the target with high affinity and selectivity. The aptamers derived from the Latin word aptus, that means the fit is based on the strong binding to the specific target based on the structural conformation. Aptamers usually selected by the selection from a large pool of the random library. So please enjoy this video. This is about the aptamer technology, and it is very impressive now the applications of the aptamers in basic research, healthcare related diagnostic therapeutic is going on. Okay, so now look at this graph, and this graph is showing the publication statistics of the aptamers after their discovery in 1990s. There have been 11,000 publications indexed to the DNA or RNA aptamer in ScienceFinder with a projected average rate of 5 per day in 2015, and more than 60,000 publications are patented, which is a stunning testament to the commercial potential of the aptamers. In this movie, you can see the aptamers is searching the surface of the protein and finally bind to the passive binding site of the protein. And this is the simulation that was conducted with a fully flexible aptamers and moderately flexible protein, and whose conformation was restrained to the near-native fluctuations. Now, how do the aptamers arise? In 1960s, the Darwin gave the theory of evolution. He said it is not the strongest of the species that survive, or not the more intelligent, but the most responsive to the change that survive. So this theory can be related to the aptamer technology. So you can watch this video first. So Darwin suggested that the biomolecules can be evaluated outside the living organism. Since then, the in vitro selection studies have demonstrated the nucleic acid and the protein can evolve in the test tube. However, in the test tube, many factors affect the selectivity of the aptamers, such as probe-probe interaction, target concentration, or molecular crowding, and non-specific interaction with the tube wall lead to the bias selection. So we need to focus on the positive selection over the negative control selection also. Now, this slide is showing the difference in the peptide aptamer and the nucleic-based aptamers. Generally, the peptide aptamers make the structure by scaffold, whereas DNA or RNA aptamers make the complex secondary and tertiary structures. The peptide aptamers bind to the target with the variable loop lesion, but the DNA or RNA aptamer bind the target with the entire surface. Now, this slide is showing some key advantages of the aptamers over antibodies. Aptamers are even the small size, around 1 to 5 kilodalton, where the antibodies are 30 to 180 kilodalton, can bind to the targets with their high affinity with the equilibrium dissociation ranging from low nanomolar, micromolar to picomolar, or that can be improved. And In case of the antibodies are very difficult to synthesize because they require the animals, and most pitfall of the antibodies, they are batch to batch variation. That is the big issue in the antibodies development. Whereas the aptamers, DNA aptamers can be chemically synthesized. There is no requirement of animal, and there is no batch to batch variation in aptamer cases. Another, the antibodies very difficult to modify chemically. In case of the aptamer, it is very easily modified and can stabilize the aptamers. But in case of the nucleic acid aptamer, there is only the drawbacks is they can easily degrade by the nucleus. Now this slide showing the aptamers in the clinical trials for the applications in therapeutic and diagnostic applications. So last few decades, several oligonucleotides entered into the clinical trial and reaching to the commercial stage. This is the first FDA-approved oligonucleotides, aptamers-based drug that is used for the treatment of the age-related molecular degeneration. And this is the successful example of the aptamers, AS1411. That is the first DNA-based aptamer that entered in the clinical phase for the treatment of the renal and non-small cell lung carcinoma. And this aptamer gives the good results and without any side effects. The another successful example of the aptamer therapeutic is NOX-A12. NOX-A12 was the antagonist of the chemokine known as 6-CXCL1 SDF1. The preclinical evaluation indicated the NOX-A12 activate WBC and hematopoietic stem cells in the peripheral blood of the mice and help human volunteers. So several DNA and RNA aptamers were developed for various disease therapeutics here. As we all know, the aptamers generally when come in contact with the targets, it makes the conformation. Here you can see the hairpin-like structure of the aptamers when bind to the target protein, and it can make the three-way junction architecture. Here is the bulge architecture, and this is the G quadruplex structures of the aptamers. So aptamer can make the various conformation when interact with the target molecules. But the main problems with the aptamer is that they can, their physiological properties can be affected by the metabolic instability, renal infiltration, non-specific immune inactivation. Therefore, the various chemical modifications were adopted to improve the pharmacokinetic properties of the aptamer-based therapeutics. There are only certain modifications such as 2-aminopyrimidine, 2-fluoropyrimidine, 2-O-methyl nucleotide were successfully integrated in the aptamer technology, and the aptamers are generally modified at the 2 position by introducing a sugar ring or phosphate group during the solid phase chemical synthesis. Now we move to the how to find and use the aptamers in medicine. The synthesis of the aptamer is based on an in vitro evolution procedure that is known as the systemic evolution of ligand by exponential enrichment or SELEX method. This strategy involves the iterative process of selection of high affinity molecules towards a broad range of the targets, including small molecules, proteins, peptides, toxins, whole cells, or tissue. The fundamental ideas of the selection procedure is generally similar to the DNA and RNA oligonucleotides, and until 4 steps, critical steps. These are the first step is incubation with the incubation of the random library that has 10 to power 13 to 10 to power 15 sequences incubated with the target, and then partitioning or separation of the bound nucleotide from the non-bounded candidates, and the recovery and amplification of the target bound candidate for the next cycle, and then regeneration of the single strand DNA for the next selection sound. This process is iterative, and until the population is enriched with the aptamers bearing the desired function, selectivity, and sensitivity. In this slide, you will see a historical overview of the most of the SELEX variant. The aptamers are generally developed in vitro by very defined iterative process that I already mentioned, that is the SELEX, and the original SELEX method that is reported is very time consuming and labor consuming. Over the past 3 decades, by adoption and integration of the progress in the material science and analytical technique, various SELEX variations have been reported in an attempt to either reduce processing time or generate aptamer with novel design and flex functions. However, improving the current SELEX procedure and developing more aptamers with the high binding capacity and specificity remain a major hurdle for aptamers related basic and applied studies. So our group has developed a new in vitro selection method for obtaining the selective DNA aptamer in 2019. So already we talked about the SELEX procedure. This SELEX procedure involves the 3 steps: binding to the target props, washing, that is removal of the unbound DNA sequences, and PCR-based exponential amplification with multiple round of selection. However, this conventional protocol may not be utilized for effective screening of the very similar target protein. For example, we have the challenge, as you can see, once we get lost in the flow through, can never be recovered, even if it might contain some good aptamer candidate. And also after each cycle, we need to amplify the elute sequences and repeats the whole cycle for 10 to 15 times. This exponential amplification based enrichment can then lead to the biased results with consuming a whole lot of time. These factors limit the application of the conventional SELEX for our purpose, and that's why our group introduced and developed a new protocol, which is we call as a competitive non-SELEX or systemic evolution of ligand by competitive selection method. In competitive non-SELEX method, in vitro selection is performed using the same 3 steps as I explained above, but in the solution system containing multiple targets with highly similar structures. So we can thus differentiate the very similar target protein, and we can find out the aptamer very selective to the target protein. And this technology is generally not based on the PCR. Only 1 round of selections in the competitive forces is applied here, and in very short time, we can get the highly selective aptamers for the specific targets. This slide is showing our successful story of identified aptamers by our group. Here are the examples. We find out the aptamer for cathepsin, that is the breast cancer biomarker, and renin, that is the cardiovascular disease biomarkers, and amyloid beta 42 aptamers, and SOD, MND biomarkers with the KD from picomolar to nanomolar in range. Now, similar to the monoclonal antibodies, aptamer can specifically recognize and bind to their target. Therefore, following their isolation, aptamer can be utilized for molecular recognition of their targets. And as a result, aptamer has a number of the diagnostic and therapeutic applications for the such as biosensor and the target inhibitor. Aptamer is now currently using for the detection of the virus, bacteria, parasite, cancer, inflammation, protein, and they are therapeutically using for various diseases here. So particularly we are focusing on the protein, and we are developing the biosensor for detections of the protein using our identified aptamers. Now, the high affinity and specificity of the aptamer make the ideal diagnostic agent with the potential to replace conventional antibodies in the clinical diagnosis. Aptamer can be used for the molecular recognition of the respective targets. Aptamer is successfully used for the cancer diagnosis, intracellular diagnosis, pathogen detection, tissue engineering, bioimaging, therapy, and theragnostic. Now here we demonstrated our peptide aptamer based electrochemical sensor technology called PAP-on-DAP to detect the less accessible target molecules such as renin and to improve the quality of the life. The peptide aptamer based aptamer represent a relatively smart class of affinity binders and show great promise in the biosensor development. Renin is involved in the regulation of the artificial blood pressure and in an emerging biomarker protein for the predicting cardiovascular risk and prognosis. And this is the first study. Here we describe the aptamer molecules that can be used to new protein prop for the renin. Here we describe a portable electrochemical biosensor platform based on the newly identified peptide aptamer for the renin. And we constructed a randomized octopeptide library pool with diversified sequences and selected renin specific aptamer using cDNA display technology. We identified a few peptide aptamer sequences with the KD in micromolar binding affinity range for the renin. And then next we grafted the selected peptide aptamer onto the gold nanoparticles and detected the renin in one-step competitive assay using our originally developed disposable electrochemical printed chip or DAP chip and a USB powered portable potentiostat, and we successfully detected renin in as little 280 nanogram per ml in the serum and 2.8 nanogram per ml in the PBS using the PAP-on-DAP method. Now, we next demonstrated our biosensor system using the FAT technology. Generally, the biosensor that use the single wall carbon nanotube field effect transistor FAT offer ultimate sensitivity. However, besides the sensitivity, a highly selectivity is critically important to distinguish the true signal from the interference signal in a non-controlled environment. This work presents the first demonstration of the successful integration of the novel peptide aptamers with the liquid fat to achieve highly sensitive and specific detection of the cathepsin E. Cathepsin E is a useful prognostic biomarker for the cancer diagnosis. And novel peptide aptamer that specifically recognize cathepsin are engineered by the in vitro selection method. This is the resulting fat sensor that exhibited the high sensitivity and did not show any response to the DSA and other type of cathepsin protein like cathepsin K. And this is the label-free detection of the cathepsin E, and detected the cathepsin E in the PBS around 0.1 nanogram per ml, and in the human serum, this biosensor can detect to 10 nanogram per ml in human serum. So our results highlight the use of the peptide aptamers with fat sensor as a promising platform for the near patient testing and point of care testing applications. Next, we demonstrated the PEP on DAP system for the Abeta42, that is the biomarker for the Alzheimer's disease. And here we could able to detect the amyloid beta 42 around 4 nanomolar with this using this biosensor. Now there's the generation and characterization of novel probes for unreachable target molecules by managing a new identified peptide aptamer with its electrochemical transduction allowed the development of more practical biosensor that is in principle can be adapted to develop a portable, low-cost, mass-producible biosensor for point-of-care applications. Now, the aptamers application in the therapy. As we know that the aptamers have the ability to compete with the small molecules and the protein ligands and to inhibit their targets, so aptamer can be considered to be promising therapeutics. So here we are mainly focused on the cancer therapeutics. So here I will discuss my project is going on here. So first we choose the target CYP24A1. CYP24A1 is the cytochrome P450 vitamin D3 catabolizing enzyme and is highly overexpressed in many types of the cancer. And it is reported that the overexpression of the CYP24A1 inhibits the vitamin D3 anti-cancer functions. So here we identified the CYP24A1 inhibitory DNA aptamer that can be used as an anti-cancer agent. Now, next the identified aptamers for the CYP24A1, we characterize these aptamers by the interaction with its target CYP24A1 using our laboratory built high-speed AFM technology that is developed in the Nano LSI Kanazawa University. And this image is giving you the high-speed AFM setup. And this is generally this high-speed AFM consists of various devices. This is the mica stage, and this is the cantilever. It's connected with the laser, and here's the detector. And here you can see in this video, the cantilever is scanning the sample on the mica stage and capturing the images of the biomolecules. So using this high-speed technology, we visualize the aptamers and aptamers with the CYP24A1. So here you can see this is the time sequence of the images of the aptamers, and this is the video. of the aptamers. Here you can see the aptamers is folded in the 3D structures. And here you can see the aptamer fold in the loop and stem structures. And this is the first kind of a study we have done, that we visualize the dynamics of the aptamer using the high-speed AFM technology. And next, we visualize the aptamer with the CYP24A1, how this aptamer make the complex with the CYP24A1. So here you can see this is the protein, and the two aptamers is simultaneously binding to the surface of the protein here. And please look at this movie. Here you can see the two aptamers are binding to the surface of protein. And so using this technology, we could able to visualize the dynamics of the aptamers and the CYP24A1 complex formation by using our high-speed AFM technology. Next, for the cellular application, we evaluated the aptamers for the cellular internalization using the cell confocal microscopy here to determine whether the aptamer can enter into the cells. So here you can see this is the confocal microscope results. And here we stain the cell surface with the WG membrane, and the red signal represent that aptamer internalized in the cells, and this is the merge view. So this confocal microscopy studies confirm that aptamer can enter in the cells, and this is the result of the aptamers. Here you can see after internalization of this aptamer, this inhibit the CYP24A1 activity by more than 60%. And even this aptamer reduce the CYP24 activity as a positive control. We use here is the ketoconazole as a positive control, that is known as the standard inhibitor of this protein. So our results show the inhibitory effects of CYP24 mediated catabolism of vitamin D3 in lung cancer cells. After confirming the internalization, we evaluated the anti-proliferative functions of the vitamin D3 in lung cancer cell to study the inhibitory effects of aptamer 7. Cells were cultured in presence of or absence of the aptamers, and cells were treated with each day with the aptamer for up to 3 days. And we found the cell proliferation inhibit after the 3 days treatment with the aptamers. So the result clearly demonstrate that cancer cell exposed to 120D3 together with aptamer exhibited high anti-proliferative activity than the non-treated control groups. Next, we confirm that the mechanism of aptamers for inhibition of the CYP24A1. The CYP24A1 is a mitochondrial bounding protein and generally located over the inner surface of the mitochondria. And here we visualize the co-localization of the aptamers and the mitochondria by using the confocal microscopy. Here you can see in the merge images, the red and green color of the become yellow. It means the aptamers is co-localized on the surface of the mitochondria, and And this result confirmed that the aptamers in the cytoplasm making the possible interaction with the CYP24A1. And the next project is going on in our lab is that we are developing the aptamers, DNA aptamer for the adenosine deaminase acting on RNA. We call ADA1. The ADA1 enzyme is responsible for binding to the double-strand RNA and converting the adenosine to inosine by deamination. And this is the post A to I editing is a post-transcriptional modification method. And recently, the ADA1 has been recognized as an oncogene and known as a potential biomarker for the cancer therapeutics. Generally, this A to I editing has a significant functional significance. For example, A to I conversion changed the protein coding sequence. It altered the RNA structure, RNA splicing, modulate the microRNA target specificity, and change the messenger RNA stability. In this study, it shows that the ADAR function as an oncogene. Here you can see the ADAR overexpression can cause the pre-micro RNA 10A and primary microRNA 125 have the A to I hyperediting, which alters the mature microRNA 10A and microRNA 125 expression, and that may be contribute to the cancer pathogenesis. So therefore, ADA has received attention as a new target for the cancer therapy. And the recent study also revealed that the ADA enhances the overexpression of this protein ADA1, enhances the resistance to the immune checkpoint blockade. And if we find out the DNA aptamer inhibitor that inhibits the ADA1, so that would be an attractive anti-cancer agent for the treatment of the cancer. Or this aptamer can be actively can inactivate to the resistance of the these cancer cells for the cancer immunotherapy. So here further our experimental result using the high-speed AFM. First we observe the proteins behavior using the high-speed AFM. Here you can see the protein is present in the monomers and dimer state. Generally, this protein is behave in the absence of the RNA is behave as in monomers, but in the presence of the double-strand RNA is make the homodimers. So here you can see the movie of these proteins here. Most of the molecules you can see in the monomer state. Some molecules are making the dimer state. So it shows that the interaction between the protein is not sufficient to stable the dimer formation. So therefore, the RNA binding assists to for the formation of this homodimerization. Then we investigated the binding on the double-strand RNA. Here you can see the movie. This protein is making the homodimers and interacting with the double-strand RNA. And next in our observation, we first observe the aptamers of these proteins here using the high-speed AFM. And this is the movie of the aptamers alone. And it also, we measured the length of this aptamer around 15 nanometer and the height around 2 nanometer in the folded state. And then we observe imaging the aptamers with the with this protein. So here you can see this video that the two aptamers are interacting with the proteins and interacting at the protein-protein interaction interface. And however, we will further investigate the high-speed AFM observation of the ADAR aptamer interaction in presence of the double-strand RNA to confirm the inhibition effects of these aptamers. So now I come to the conclusion or summary of this presentation. Now we believe from the following growth of the aptamer technology, we can believe the aptamer technology have the bright future in the therapeutic and diagnostic, and we will see the many more aptamer-based therapeutic and diagnostic products in the world's biopharmaceutical and diagnostic world. And finally, I would like to extend my thanks to the Professor Manish Biyani, who is the director of the BioSeed and the professor in JIST, and for providing the support for the aptamer related guidance and the platform. And next, I would like to thanks to the Professor Kodera, who is a pioneer of the high-speed AFM and who support me in conducting the high-speed AFM related experiments and guidance. And now I finally add thanks to all the participants for your kind listening. And now I'm happy to take the questions. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your nice presentation of the aptamers.